Morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sam here, United People's TV. As I said in my match reaction last night, I've got a smile on my face. It's been a tough old few days since the Newcastle game for the club, for Ten Hag, with everything that's been said and suggested in the press. And then Man United go and do that against Chelsea. It was frustrating because it could have and should have been significantly easier and better than 2-1, but that was a strong performance. That was a strong team performance. And I think I said this in my match reaction as well. I think a lot of us wanted the result last night, but quite a lot of United fans wanted to see a performance, wanted to see their team actually playing for their manager. And I think we got that last night. Not bad, I'll tell you what, for a team where Ten Hag has lost 50% of the dressing room. If Ten Hag's lost 50% of the dressing room, Pochettino must have lost about 97% of the dressing room. I'm looking for the articles and the videos on Chelsea. Can you see him anywhere? No, you can't. Of course you can't. Despite the fact that they've spent like the GDP of probably 40% of African countries on trying. But anyway, good morning to everyone. How are we doing? Let's see who's here from the member gang. Can I say to everyone, by the way, thanks for tuning in yesterday for the arms before the game. It was really enjoyable. It's kind of a more personal show, isn't it? There was only 80 of, well, I say the busiest the pub has been so far, the UPTV Arms. 80 of you joined in there, and I'm looking forward to plenty of you all sort of coming on board as it gets bigger and better. But let's have a look. Saeed, good morning to you. Carl, you're there. Reese, Alex, Matt, Sandman. We've got John, Richard, Natasha, good morning to you. Josh, as always, and Ant, you're there too. We've got Andrew, Top Dog. Who is on Facebook? Let's have a look. We've got Royston de Boyston, which is still a good name. It was good the other day, and it was still good now. Lee Reese, good morning to you. Samra Gaminda, and we've got Wayne. Hey, look. Do you know what? Football's just this. Once upon a time, I don't know whether this is just kind of how games have gone recently, so I've got a little bit of recency bias in my mind. But it kind of seems like no one really cares about clean sheets in the Premier League anymore. Or no one's good enough, or maybe the quality of the attacking football has just improved that much that no one's really keeping them. Apart from Aston Villa. I mean, Pep's got to go, isn't he? Pep's got to go. 4 games without a win. Sackable, really. And Postecoglou, 4 games without a win. Should probably sack them both. I mean, it's the right thing to do, right? Now, all jokes aside, Man United is sitting there. It's 3 points behind City. Let me turn my mic around like that. That's better. 3 points behind Man City. And I tell you what, Villa didn't just do a little smash and grab against City yesterday. I'm not looking forward to going to Villa Park. I'm very, very happy that we are playing Aston Villa at home out of the 2 trips. Yeah, Pep's got to go, really. He's got to go. But yeah, it's the way that football works and the swing. It's just that maybe it's because we're involved in it as United fans, so we see the swings more. But the extremes of Ten Hag as a United manager are sort of like kind of up and down and a bit crazy, right? Just a bit wild. And Chelsea, as I said, they're down there 19 points. 8 points behind us. Chelsea, we were great. Man, Chelsea are crap. How bad are Chelsea? We're speaking in the arms before the game. We're worried about the speed of their front 3. Harry Maguire just duttied them. Oh, they knocked my drink over. Really good game last night. I really enjoyed it. Should have been like 4 or 5, right? Should have been 4 or 5. Going forward down there. I'm getting pelters for it, and deservedly so. What I said about Scott McTominay, but I'm going to speak about that in a bit more detail. What I said still rings true, but my word, at a time, is there a more? I mean, it's probably between McTominay and Maguire as to the players that Ten Hag kind of trusts the most in this team right now. Who would you say? Put your names down there in the comments. What player do you think Ten Hag trusts the most in this Manchester United squad at this moment in time? Because McTominay came up with those 2 goals against Brentford when it was like, backs against the wall. Came up with a goal, I think it was away at Sheffield United. And just overall, Man, Bruno Fernandes, quite a few are saying down there. Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire again last night. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm happy eating humble pie. I'm more than happy eating humble pie. I don't have any agenda. Remember that. It seems like the word agenda has kind of disappeared a little bit, which is nice because that was boring. But I don't have any agenda against any individual. And I'm more than happy to be proven wrong whilst when the evidence changes itself. More evidence presents itself and it makes me change my mind. But yesterday felt good. Yesterday felt really good because there has been so much hot air around Ten Hag this week. And as a supporter of Ten Hag and what he's done overall, I hands up and hands in the air saying that he needed to make some changes yesterday. He didn't make the changes that I thought he completely needed to. He made some, not all. But I'm not sure about you, but the game felt less chaotic, I think is the way I would describe it. It felt a little bit less like a pinball machine where it was, I mean, it happens sometimes. In the first half, Amrabat, I'll speak about Amrabat later, but I'm telling you, I told you already about how much difference a player like Amrabat when he's on form could and should be making to this team. And I think we saw that in the second half. It's just that it's taken a while for him. And I'm going to speak about that in a little bit. Someone sent a super chat. I'll read this out from Tina and I'll read a few of your comments out. Can Emery win the league? You know what, Tina, right? No, I don't think they can. But last season, I kept looking at Newcastle and I was expecting Newcastle constantly to falter. And they never did. They absolutely never. They continued it the whole way through that season. Now, Aston Villa didn't just beat City. They played them off the park through like sustained patterns. Unai Emery got an unfortunate rep, or just kind of got slated for his time at Arsenal. Dude's a very good manager. Dude always has been a very good manager. He's won the Europa League, 4 times with Sevilla? 3-4 times? I mean, Sod knows how much. But fair play to them. But Sod, though, I don't want to speak about any other manager. I want to speak about my manager, right? My manager. And this is what Ten Hag said after the game. He goes, multiple media was saying that you had lost 50% of the dressing room. They'd lost their faith in you. How did that affect you? He goes, it didn't. Because I know the truth. And you've seen the truth tonight. So who's made the choice to not let the media in at the press conferences? And he said the club and me together. They have to follow the protocols. This is how we work together. And if they don't do that, this happens. I was really happy to see, I mean, I've already given my opinion on all that, but I was really happy to see the club support Ten Hag in that. He's saying, look, man, they're taking the piss here. They didn't come to us for a comment on this. Ban them. And they did. And they stood behind him. And that sort of fighting mentality from Ten Hag was something that I really enjoyed. And I wanted to see it last night. And I'll be honest, I think as a whole collective, that's what stood out last night for me. Well, quite a few things did actually. But kind of every man to a T put in a performance yesterday. I know that you could say, we're relying on just McTominay's goals. Is a problem. I'll speak about Hojlund and all the other players. But kind of every man put a shift in yesterday. Wasn't really a sort of an individual that just dragged us through it. It might have been McTominay on the end of it, of those moves in the right positions, but it was an overall very good team performance. And look, this is what Ten Hag said as well. He goes, I don't care about the noise, man. He was used to it at Ajax. Ajax, of course, the biggest club in Holland. Everybody wanting and wishing them to fail at every opportunity. So Ten Hag is used to the sort of everyone against us approach, mentality, how to manage that. Obviously, the scale of it is, it's Fiat and Ferrari in terms of the size of the club. No offense to the Ajax fans, but it's true. And Ten Hag I think he's carried himself well this week. And more importantly as well, he's made the changes that were needed. Certain changes which definitely had a massive impact. And you know who I'm going to speak about next. And let's just get straight into it now, right? Because there's a lot of players we need to speak about from that game last night. Before I do, Calvin, you ledge. Calvin has gifted 5 memberships, which means 5 more of you can come in to the members only area in Discord. Let me drop you the link. Joe, thank you very much for helping. All the other mods for helping in the arms yesterday. Honestly, everyone, it's starting to feel properly like a community home now. It really is. I think even this week, the changes that were made to Discord, once they were made, I was like, even I knew my way around more. It's a lot more user friendly. But where's my humble pie? Oh, actually, no, not humble pie. You'll remember my what I said about Scott McTominay during the summer. Okay, when he was linked with West Ham, linked with all that. Said of all the players that I think we should get rid of, I thought like McTominay, I would get rid of a lot of players before I got rid of McTominay. I said he will have a purpose inside this squad this season. I just didn't expect on the 7th of December to come here for a live show and say that Scott McTominay is our top goal scorer. AJ, you're saying that take it on the chin. You've killed McTominay this year. My opinion on McTominay, I still feel strongly about. When it comes to midfield control, midfield build-up, that's not the strength of McTominay's game. I mean, it's not. And it never will be. But you get McTominay into a position where you get him on the edge of the box, late runner into the box. Man, right now, he's one of the best at it. Absolutely one of the best at it. The player I really need to eat humble pie of it and continually right now is Harry Maguire. But McTominay is kind of... How do you... what's the solution to the... I don't want to call it a McTominay problem, but it's kind of a... I don't know how you find the balance, because what we saw in that second half, right, and the influence that Amrabat had, and I'll speak about that a little bit later, goes to show you how important and a necessity it is to have a midfielder or two that do that in midfield, constantly have the ball, finding a teammate, breaking up play, and making sure that if anything goes wrong up front, we're covered defensively. And this has not been the case all season, really, all season. So, like, as great as McTominay is as that box crashing midfielder, like, how do you balance that midfield? I honestly, I don't have a solution to that right now. But I wanted him on the bench yesterday because I wanted Amrabat alongside Mainu because I wanted control. But you just can't argue, and this is the thing, right? You just can't argue with the goals that this guy is putting in. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. As I said, I've I don't know. It's just I wish Scott McTominay wasn't seen by Jose Mourinho as this sort of defensive midfielder. Wait, who's that over there? He's 6'2", 3. Yeah. Well, he looks strong. Yeah, go on then. Right, you're my Matic replacement. In you go. Boom. What do you mean? He's not. I sod that. He can play a defensive. How old is he? Yeah, I'll just mold him into a defensive midfielder. He never was. He never has been. Doesn't play anywhere near that position for Scotland. And when he plays in that position for Manchester United, he's nowhere near as effective as he is there. Now, Alex, you're down there saying he's showing his number 9 instincts from the academy, and it's not true. He's even spoken about this in interviews. He's like, I don't know where it came from, because I literally played striker like twice for the academy when there was an injury crisis. So it's got nothing to do with that. But he clearly has, when it comes to timing and the runs and sort of instincts, he's like the perfect, the perfect like supporting striker. I still do not think that Manchester United going into the top level games can possibly have a midfield which has Bruno and McTominay in and expect to win. Expect to have an element of control. It'll be wildfire. Scott McTominay scoring 2 last night doesn't change that, right? I feel pretty strongly about it. And that's what I mean. I don't know how in this current formation and setup with Bruno Fernandes playing there, and I'm still, of course, I'm playing Bruno Fernandes. Like, I know he's going to get some reason. I don't know why. There's more argument. Maybe it's because he's captain now. But you play Bruno, but then how do you get McTominay and Bruno into that same midfield and also have the actual discipline and midfield shape behind it? I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit. I don't really know what the solution is, but I'm going to see what you're saying down here. Is McTominay a new Fellaini? Well, Jake from the podcast, he's a big Fellaini fan. I was to a point, but then you remember with Fellaini, I think it was Mourinho. it came to a point where Fellaini was playing central midfield, starting in central midfield every week for United, and it was driving me insane. I was like, do not play him there. Stop it. You've got no control whatsoever in that midfield. Play him towards the edge of the box, and you're going to get something out of Marouane Fellaini. I remember that. Kind of McTominay, I suppose, falls into that same sort of category. But with United not having too many goal threats right now, you can't take McTominay out. And that's why Ten Hag is sticking to him. And that's why he's a manager, and that's why I'm not. What we're saying down here in the comments. He's played at centre-back at Scotland, yeah. But McTominay is one of those players, Mark, you're saying it right there. If manager asks him to play left-back, he'll be like, right, okay, I'll do a job. Same thing with Bruno would probably do the same thing. Remember when Bruno played like defensive midfield once? I think it was like towards the second half of the game. Gus, would you put Bruno behind McTominay instead of the current formation? No, I wouldn't. I don't know what the 11 and the formation setup is that's properly balanced in this team. It's kind of like you put one there and you go, man, what about that? And then you switch and you go, what about that? I don't think it's easy to get a perfectly balanced team that we've got right now. Abdul saying, what's your view about letting McTominay and Maguire go next season? I would keep Maguire and not McTominay. I have no idea, dude. Let's talk about that in like 5 months' time. That's not a December conversation. Top dog. I think everybody would share this sentiment. I'm glad I'm not our manager. You know how crap we'd be. You know how bad we'd be if I was manager. But you know one thing that happened yesterday, right? And this is something that's been spoken about quite a lot. Okay? Is the load on these players, right? We played more games than anybody last season. We had the World Cup halfway through the season. We then had probably the biggest preseason of anybody, flying everywhere, 8 games in like 30, I don't know how many days, flying to America, West Coast, the whole jobby. It was a lot. And Erik Ten Hag has an intense style of football. And the training, there were always question marks about, is the training a bit too intense for these players? Like when they come into a game, are they a bit shagged? Like, have they been sort of like running themselves into the ground? And this is where this is the first time I've seen a United player comment on this. And I think it could be important, right? McTominay was asked, what was key in the sort of mentality switch tonight? Like what changed? He said, look, to be honest with you, as a manager, the way he approached this game, a lot of light training sessions to keep us fresh. Now, is that it could be for one of two reasons, right? Number one, that's a direct response from Erik Ten Hag, maybe listening to the players and going, right, okay, so maybe training is a little bit too hard. Maybe we can tone it down a little bit. And that may well have happened. It might be a response from Ten Hag because we're playing every 3 days now, right? For the next month or so before the January break. You're like, do you really need intense training sessions when you've got that many games? I'm not really sure you do. Whatever is the reason for it, Ten Hag gave the players lighter training sessions. And it made a difference. Now, I reckon that this is just me speculating, all right? I'll say that before I say it. I kind of reckon that if Ten Hag had done that earlier, it would have been very easy for players to sort of kind of like take the piss, if you know what I mean. Oh, there we go. Lighter training sessions. Yeah, nice. He's making it easier. Sweet. Once he maybe trusts that squad enough to do lighter training sessions, and then you see the response in the game like that, that's when it shows that it can work. Okay, so we can do lighter sessions during the week because you can put that in at the weekend. And I think that's what Ten Hag should be saying to the players. He goes, right, okay, so we can do reduced sessions now if you can put that sort of performance in at the weekend. Right? And because it was every man. Was there anybody last night? Jonathan, actually, you just said it in the comments there. Was there anybody last night who was like below like a 7 out of 10? This dude right here. My word. That was. It feels like that was Garnacho's best overall performance in a United shirt. It feels like it. He absolutely terrorized Chelsea yesterday. Terrorized. So much so that Cucurella was on, got taken off at halftime because he was getting absolutely cooked by not by Ten Hag, by Garnacho. And then Reece James came on. And then Reece James got put on his ass by Garnacho as well. He kind of genuinely unplayable last night from Garnacho. Decision making, threat, tracking back. I've said it a few times this season now, actually. Mainly in the last couple of weeks. We've always, as United fans, we've always looked at Garnacho and gone like, man, this kid is a star. But as it stands, this kid, he's influencing games more from the bench than he is from the starting 11. And then he goes and does that against Everton. He goes and does that against Galatasaray. And then he goes and does that against Chelsea. And it's the tracking back. Like the overall development of him as a footballer has been quite rapid this season. And he's really taken on a star quality that Alejandro Garnacho had. I think if you watch Garnacho in the youth teams, that right there looked like the Garnacho from the youth squad. You know, the player who's always like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'll do it. I've got it. I've got it sorted. Having the confidence, the swagger, and the you know when someone's got so much self-confidence, you call them arrogant. That's what Garnacho's starting to look like on the ball. And it is a real sort of characteristic of a proper star quality player. No matter how many times it goes wrong, I'm doing it again. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. That's what Garnacho looked like last night. And he, of course, got the assist. There's Reece James. Anybody seen Cucurella or Reece James? No, it's still in his back pocket. Yeah, good. Lovely cross. Lovely cross for him. I'm going to see what you're saying about Garnacho in the comments, right? I think someone sent a couple of super chats and we've not missed these. Anthony saying maybe try Scott as a striker. I kind of joked about it yesterday. Hojlund, I'll speak about Hojlund a little bit later in the show, and then we can go back to talking about McTominay as a striker. And it's saying Ghana's footballing news? No, I say that word. It's growing rapido. Now he's really, really developing. That's just the thing I'll continue to say. Garnacho, that now compared to Garnacho at the start of the season, that he's significantly better now. And he's becoming an overall like proper team player. Because you just have to in the modern game. Man United's team back in the day was so good when we got Ronaldo in. He could just goal hang, man. He could just stay on that left flank. Give me the ball. I'll do the rest. Everyone else has got everything else covered. Not anymore. Ricky, Sam, you did say Scott would score yesterday. McTominay's just, I don't know. So it's such a curious conundrum, I suppose. Scott McTominay. But man, what a goal scorer right now. Shane, the audacity to try the overhead kick again. We're all like, well, you don't win the lottery twice in the space of 2 weeks, all right? You only win the lottery once. If that had gone in, I would have just been like that. End it now. End it now. It's not getting any better than this. Chetani saying you think he needs to get better up front. Maybe in final prop, man. But that dude was just threatening Chelsea the whole game. They had no respite. There was no point where Garnacho wasn't like a thorn in their side, a constant like just doing something every single time. But man, I was really, really delighted with his performance yesterday. And as I said, like just overall on the pitch, that's the biggest compliment I can give to that team yesterday is how much it was a team performance. And I want to speak about Amrabat, right? Amrabat is a player who, well, I definitely got excited and hyped by him because I understood the exact profile that he was. And I looked at what we were missing and I put 2 and 2 together and I made 4. And I thought it was going to work out perfectly. So far, Amrabat has been struggling. He spoke about his fitness. He spoke about this after the game, right? Saying that I started the season with an injury. Normally, you need some time to adapt. There was no time. The team needed me. I jumped straight in. Amrabat, certainly his best 45 minutes that second half, right? Really, really good. And Amrabat doing what he needed to do, cleaning up, his timing was really good yesterday, right? When to lunge in, when to stay back. It was really, so was Maguire's actually. It's a really, really important point because had they missed their tackles and lunges, they would have left a ton of space. But he got his timing really spot on. And by doing that and sitting there and protecting the defenders, it allowed United to just keep going at Chelsea. And we had the safety net of Amrabat behind. And it made a big, big difference. If you look at this, right, this is the average positions for United's players yesterday. We'll zoom in. I mean, Onana's still quite deep. I was expecting Onana to be like on the edge of his box. Anyway, you can see where Amrabat is here. Just tucked in between Maguire and Luke Shaw actually had a higher line than Victor Lindelof. He went off at halftime anyway. But you can see compared to, and this is actually a good thing about, even more impressive about Garnacho right now, actually. Because if you look at Diogo Dalot over there, look how much higher his position is. And it shows you how many more times he went forward than Luke Shaw is. Yet Garnacho was still so threatening, even without the overlapping runs. But anyway, I'm focused here on Amrabat, right? Amrabat there. Deeper than Scott McTominay. By the way, look how high Bruno is, by the way. Bruno's here and Hojlund's there and Scott McTominay's there. That worked. Look how much more compact that team is. And you know what compactness means? Compactness is the space between the defensive line, the midfield line, and the attack. If you looked at Newcastle, it was like defense over here, midfield there, attack there, huge old space in the middle. Whereas this time, it was better. It was significantly better, and that was the biggest change that I wanted in this game, and it was definitely there. There was a lot less space between the lines, and it made it harder for Chelsea to find that space. They still did, right? They absolutely did. Like first half, I think it was like Caicedo had a couple of balls that was kind of like in behind the defense. There was one especially where I think it was it Sterling through to Jackson? Like if he had just timed his pass right, they were definitely scoring. But Amrabat was kind of the difference maker in that regard. And I'm really happy for him, man. Luke Shaw went in, tucked in at centre back. Of course, that does mean that that's actually a good point, really. That probably, yeah, kind of undermines what I've just said there about him not overlapping too much. Forgot about that. Anyway, steady impressive from Garnacho. But we need Amrabat to be good, right? We do. Like we brought him in. We didn't bring him in to be like this passenger and this naff player. We need him to be good. I don't know what's going to happen at Anfield. I don't know what 11 you play at Anfield. But yesterday in a game, yeah, it was a big game, man. It's Chelsea. By the way, answers on a postcard down here. See who gets his first. You only get one guess each. When was the last time that Chelsea beat Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Premier League? Right? Let me know in the comments. You only get one guess each. Don't go spam in the comments. Let's see who gets it first. This made me smile. Linton, you're straight in there, right? This really made me smile. 10 years. I used to hate playing Chelsea. I hated it. I hated playing Chelsea until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was our manager. And then he just slapped them up. Remember that Rashford free kick at Stamford Bridge? And we won at Stamford Bridge another time as well. 2013. Jarvis, you're right down there. Juan Mata scoring the winner for Chelsea, not for United. 10 years. Whew, feels good because I hate that football club. I'm telling you, if I could fold one club in the Premier League, I'd fold Chelsea. I'd definitely fold Chelsea. I just hate every fibre of that football club, man. Really do. And what they've done to the Premier League. I know City have obviously, yeah, well, I hope City go down in a burning ball of flames, but yeah, I'd fold Chelsea. I hate that football club. Anyway, 10 years. Not bad. And Amrabat made a big, big difference yesterday. Huge difference. And I hope that's sort of, I hope that's kind of like the start of Amrabat really coming into this team. Kobbie Mainoo got a nice rest yesterday. Maybe Kobbie Mainoo's going to come in against Bournemouth. We don't know. We'll see what the changes are. But that was a big difference. And Bruno Fernandes yesterday. Danny, you're saying Chelsea over Liverpool? Nah, Liverpool all day. Mate, the reason I don't like Liverpool is because we've got a rivalry. The reason I don't like Liverpool is because of footballing reasons and anything related to on and off the pitch. That's where my hatred for Liverpool comes from, and I wouldn't want to lose that. Football rivalries are great. That's what makes football. That's what makes it interesting. Chelsea, I just hate what they stand for. I hate the concept of their club. Some oligarch who come in and he's pillaged all of Russia's state assets for real cheap. He comes over here, got billions to spend. I just need to launder my money. Where can I do it? Chelsea. Let's go buy Chelsea. What do you mean I'm not making profit? I don't care about making profit. I just want to throw hundreds of millions in. I don't care. Have some more. Have some more. Sack a manager. I'll bring in another one. Go on and sack him again. Bring in another one. Don't care. More. What do you mean I can't do this? Oh, okay. I'll sell Chelsea for free. The money can go to charity and I'll scoot off out the country. Don't worry about me. I haven't done anything illegal. It wasn't me, Gov. It wasn't me. Despicable club. Despicable club. Anyway, right. Bruno Fernandes. Let's speak about Bruno Fernandes. He typifies the sort of work ethic that Ten Hag wants this team to have. And I think there was one standout moment here. This is the 12th minute. You can see Bruno Fernandes just there, right? And then within 6 seconds, is it? 6 seconds, he's there on the edge of his own box. Bruno Fernandes' work ethic is, it doesn't really, I'll be honest, it confuses me. It doesn't make physical sense. The way that Bruno Fernandes plays football is the most full tilt and energetic way of playing and physically taxing. Yet he's played more minutes and more games than anybody in 2023. Any footballer, any outfield footballer. It doesn't really make sense. Honestly, he's like a freak. I mean that in like a compliment way, like an athletic freak. How he keeps going and his ability to recover is a madness. It's a proper madness. And that missed penalty, I don't think the penalty was awful. I think the penalty could have been better. Yeah, sure. But it wasn't one of those awful ones that just goes straight down the keeper's throat. It was a decent enough save. Sanchez guessed the right way, and it was frustrating. Thankfully, it didn't really impact the game. Now, I'm going to ask you a question down here. In fact, I might put this as a poll today. So I think this is a curious one. Let me go down here 1 sec. If you can, oh man, look at that, man. We've got 1,600 people tuning in today. It's nice. Welcome to the Fair Weather fans. Now, look, you're all welcome in, man. You're all welcome in. I want to ask you this question, right? Does Ten Hag rest Bruno against Bournemouth? Right? And this is why I'm about to ask that question. Yes or no? If Bruno Fernandes gets a yellow card against Bournemouth, he is suspended for Liverpool at Anfield. Right? That is a genuine question. If I'm Erik Ten Hag, that is a genuine question. What I'm thinking of. The reason I'm saying that is the last time we kind of had a situation like this, you remember, was Casemiro away at Crystal Palace. Casemiro got that yellow card, was banned for Arsenal, and we struggled without him at that point in time. Now, I know that Erik Ten Hag has actually rested Bruno, but just think about it. I know that, was it Anfield last year? Was that after the Anfield last year? Was it Gary Neville was saying that Bruno Fernandes, he's throwing tantrums and stuff? I'm not saying resting Bruno for the fact that he needs a rest. I mean resting Bruno so that he wouldn't be suspended for the Liverpool game. Because if he picks up one yellow card against Bournemouth, he'll be suspended for Liverpool. It wouldn't surprise me. All right, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying that this is a resting thing. This would be Ten Hag going, I need you at Anfield. All right, I need you at Anfield. I think we're going to have enough as a team to beat Bournemouth at home, but I need you at Anfield. And I think Bruno will understand that. It's a curious one. It's a curious one. Because I think Ten Hag will probably go into it and go, yeah, man, I trust you not to get a yellow card, but you also trusted Casemiro not to get a yellow card. But there are certain things that happen in football. You're like, the yellow card that Casemiro got, it was that sort of instinctive. He wasn't thinking, oh, I can't get a yellow card because we're playing Arsenal next week. He's like, he just lunged in because the player was going past him and it was like the 75th, 80th minute. And United were, 1-0 up? Was it? I can't remember what it was. I think it was 1-0 up. And he got a yellow card and then he's like, if there comes a situation against Bournemouth, we're 1-0 up in the 75th minute and Bruno's on the ball, he'll take someone out as a professional foul and he'd be banned for Anfield. It's a curious one. Really, really curious one. Callum, you're right down there saying that. I'm still definitely, I'm really disappointed in Gary Neville for what he said against Bruno. I think, what was it that he said? He said that Bruno, what was it? That he was refusing to come off? Or what was he, refusing to stay on, refusing to come off? I don't know what it was. He was doing something like mid-commentary, which was completely proven to be incorrect, but so many people jumped on it. I suppose that's the dangers of doing watch-alongs, or the dangers of doing live commentary, is you kind of say, sometimes you can say stuff like that in heat of the moment. Gives me a little bit of leeway when I speak after the game, and I'll never do a watch along. All right, I'm pretty principled on that. Sod that for a laugh. It's not how I enjoy watching football, and why am I going to make you watch me when all I want you to do is watch a football game? That makes sense. Should we go and watch a film together? But instead, I'm going to look at the ceiling, and you can just tell me what's going on, and I'll watch it that way. That's a good film. That's a really, really good film. I enjoyed that. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes. It's not that, maybe I worded that question wrong. It's not that I would rest Bruno Fernandes. It was the fact that I just don't think Ten Hag wants to go to Anfield without Bruno. Ross, you're saying, why does Donny even bother warming up? I'll be honest, I don't know why Donny van de Beek was on the bench yesterday ahead of Hannibal. Was he? I swear he was. Bit weird. Anyway, you want to talk about eating humble pie about McTominay, right? I've never said that McTominay wasn't a goal threat. What I have said is I don't think that McTominay's goal threat is worth the lack of midfield control. Now, Amrabat's really solid performance yesterday meant we had the midfield control and the McTominay goal threat, and there was a bit more balance, and it worked. The person I'm eating humble pie over, absolutely, is Harry Maguire. This period of games that we came into, like, Maguire was really impressive against the likes of like Burnley and Fulham and Luton and Everton. He was good too. But then I was like, I'm not sure what he's going to do away at Galatasaray. I'm not sure what he's going to do away at Newcastle. What's going to happen when he's going to be pressed by teams that really put pressure on him? He doesn't have time on the ball. What's he going to do against Chelsea at home? Maguire was deservedly November Premier League Player of the Month. Not just Man United Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month. And again, last night, Harry Maguire was really, really solid. And I know you, like, there are plenty of people that were worried about Maguire's pace. It was nothing. It wasn't a problem. They got in behind, but that wasn't really because of Maguire's pace. It was because of our high line, and they played a decent ball. Like, any defense would have been exposed in that sense. But there was one moment that sort of really stood out for me with Maguire, and it was this, right? And it was the build up to the second goal. Maguire, you can see that Amrabat's actually operating a little bit deeper here. That's Delot passing it through to Maguire. And Maguire on the turn among four players. 1 touch, 2 touches. Ball through to Reguilon. Reguilon to Garnacho. Garnacho cross. It was a goal. Really smart play from Maguire. And he's just, like yesterday as well. Like, you know what I said about the timing, right? Amrabat got his timing with his a lot of what he did yesterday was interceptions. It wasn't like lunging tackles. It was, you're reading where the pass and the angle's going, and you put yourself in that space. I told you that's what Carrick did. That's what made Carrick so good and calm. He never had to lunge. He always predicted where it was going. That's what Amrabat did yesterday. And Maguire's timing on A lot of his were more lungy, but they were good lunge, not like a chaotic lunge, but just a good sliding tackle. It was just good timing from Harry Maguire yesterday. And as I said, that I think he's making me eat humble pie far more. And I said it in my match reaction. I thought about it, and I'm really, really annoyed that you remember when Solskjaer gave that interview to Andy Mitten, and he said there were a couple of United players that rejected the opportunity to be United captain, and then Maguire became captain. And kind of all of us were like, I mean, I know he's an £80 million sign and all that jazz, but coming in and becoming the United captain straight away, it didn't sit right with a lot of people. And as it proved to be the case, that armband weighed down on Maguire, because since Ten Hag has taken that away from him, it might seem like a horrible thing to do, but it has really sort of relieved a lot of pressure on Maguire. I think not everybody can wear the armband of Manchester United and be a success. Not everybody can wear the number 7 at Man United and be a success, let alone the armband. And Maguire without it now just kind of makes me annoyed that he ever got the armband in the first place. And like, you can't rewrite history, but I'm just thinking, what could have happened? How different would Maguire have been as a Manchester United player if he was never the captain in the first place? I don't know. It's I'm absolutely terrified at the concept of Maguire against Liverpool, just as I'm terrified at the concept of every single United player against Liverpool. But consistently now, Harry Maguire is proving me wrong. And I will always, I criticize Maguire. If I'm sure if you were to go and look at YouTube, and my video is going to get pulled up and used against me, like, I stand by what I said previously about Maguire, and I will stand by what I say now about Maguire. He is significantly better, and it just seems game by game, he's getting better and stronger and more confident and turning into more of a leader that this team needs. Fair play, Harry Maguire, man. Madhouse, you're saying, is Varane injured again? I think there were conversations or whispers that he may have got some sort of. It wasn't even in a team yesterday. And you know what? I will say one more thing here before we move on to the next talking point. Right? Let me pull this up. And I don't mean to do this in a sort of a divisive manner, but I think at a time when there's so much is being asked about Ten Hag's management and the squad and the dressing room and is it United, blah, 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 right? And so many questions are being asked about Ten Hag. I look at Scott McTominay now, and I look at Harry Maguire, and I see two players who were on the fringes, looking at being sold. Maguire was 5th choice centre-back in behind Johnny Bloody Evans. McTominay was however many choice central midfielder. Compare how those two have approached it to Jadon Sancho. And unfortunately for Jadon Sancho, it's chalk and cheese. And this Jadon Sancho situation is something that really clearly has had an impact in some way, shape, or form on this dressing room and this team. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka last year, but I'm speaking specifically about what I've seen this season from Maguire and from McTominay. And when you have examples like that, and then you look at what's going on with Jadon Sancho, it just makes you go, it's just like, that is a damn shame. But yeah, that's why these two lads are in the team. And that's why you're not. And that's just the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. But fair play to McTominay and Maguire, because they have been coming through for their manager this season. And as I said yesterday, right? Steve, you're saying it's had a big effect on Rashford. I think I personally agree with that. Obviously, you can only speculate, but Rashford and Sancho were boys, and it feels like that. It does feel like that. But yeah, as I said yesterday, was a game where you kind of had 7 out of 10s across the whole pitch. You probably have McTominay and Garnacho, I would think, would probably be the two standout players. But then kind of everywhere else, just kind of solid performances. Amrabat, Bruno, Anthony. This is the thing about Anthony. What I saw from Anthony yesterday was kind of what I saw from Anthony last season, right? He may not be getting an assist or a goal every game, but when United play well and when Antony is in the team, he is a good team player. He helps with the overall team shape, team dynamic. And it's true. And I think we saw it again from Antony yesterday. I'll tell you what I think I missed earlier. Let me make sure I did, because I think I might have. 1 second here. I did. Fizz and Jay-Z. Jay-Z? I'll just call you Jay-Z. We've got Jay-Z in the comments. H to the OV. You just gifted 5 memberships, JC. And Fizz, you gifted 5 earlier. Jeez! Little double gong. Double gong. Makes me want a burger. Double patty. Patty. Anyone use the word patty in England? Don't know. I'm watching too many like cooking products. Anyone watch Beard Meets Food? Can I have some shout out for Beard Meets Food? Every day at lunch, I sit there and I'm watching. That's the collab that needs to happen. I back myself in an eating challenge. I would. I know everyone says that, but I really am. I have a very good capability of being greedy. So, Adam, if you're watching, Comedy Night People's TV. He's not. He never will. Alex, what are you saying? Would you start Luke Shaw at left centre back? Thank you very much, dude, for the super chat. Until Martinez returns, if it means occasionally playing Delo at left back when Reguilon's unavailable. Yeah, I absolutely would play Luke Shaw at left centre back, because Reguilon, when he came off the bench there yesterday, that was a proper. That was a serious cameo from Reguilon. Really, really, really very, very good cameo from Reguilon. You can say that about pretty much every performance so far this season. It must be fitness which is stopping him from getting in this team. But we definitely looked better in that second half when Luke Shaw went left centre back and we could play a slightly higher line, and then Reguilon as a left back overlapping with Garnacho. Yeah, you're right, by the way. I was speaking about the fact that Luke Shaw had a deeper line. Lebo, you're talking about Action Bronson. That is my favourite show. Man, I love that show. It is indeed delicious. Is that the episode where they go to Paris? I like watching cooking stuff. Don't know why. I find myself doing it on YouTube a lot. Let me see what you're saying down here about both Antony and Reguilon. I'm going to read some of your comments out. Look at that. God, you're saying, look, if you're on about change to light training sessions, Carl Anker asked Ten Hag in the press conference, was this new? And Erik Ten Hag said, no, this is the norm. Light sessions during a condensed schedule. So I said that. I said it's kind of one of 3 reasons. Number 1, Ten Hag's listened to the players and he's decided to change it. Or number 2, it's because we're playing a game every 3 days and then you have to have lighter sessions. Makes sense, right? Either way, it worked. DP is saying Short is the best centre-back after Martinez. Shame Reguilon can't stay fit. What's he saying there? If he has a break clause in his loan, can Spurs get him back in January? No, no, we didn't get that, did we? Oh, no, did we get it in? No, we did. I think he does have a break clause in January. So Spurs can get him back. It depends if they want him back, I suppose. Did you watch the latest Gary Neville podcast? He only kept a few current players. No, I didn't. Maybe I'll watch it later. Look at Sam smiling. It's nice, isn't it? The highs and lows of being a United fan are extreme. It was only a few days ago on Monday where we came in here and it was like hoods up, strings pulled. It was bad. Shaw left centre back and Reguilon left back, says Ross. Do you think Martinez's return means Varane will get more game time? Mania, I mean, on paper, yes, you would say that, but then you're not taking Harry Maguire anywhere near out of this team. It's playing too well. Mania, pleased to eat the Maguire and AWB humble pie. I'm wanted, and more than our players perform. Nothing more than our players perform. They showed that there's always a way into Ten Hag's team. Yeah, they always have. I don't think Ten Hag has really closed the door on too many players. Certain players like kind of closed the door. Well, I say Ronaldo kind of slammed the door in Ten Hag's face with that interview. If Sancho had apologized, Sancho would be back in the fold. He hasn't, so he's not. Sam's so happy he hasn't put the heating on. No, man, I'm wearing this jacket is warm. Got a little fleecy interior. I'm actually hot. All right. Dean Dolman. That's a new name. I'm not just Big up to you, Dean. You're gifting 5 memberships. Man, there's like 20 more of you here today. I love this community. By the way, I'm getting the, we're going to have some sort of Christmas quiz. We're going to have some Christmas quiz planned, I think. I need to figure out when it is. We'll have some drinks. It'll be wicked. But 5 more of you, join the Discord. And if you can, all you got to do when you join Discord right there is join. It's dead easy. Download the app first. Easy peasy. Come in there and then just ask for help. Joe will be there. Other mods will be there. They'll guide you through it. And there's also a welcome video for me. And there's also like a helping guide. I know it might seem daunting. I'm telling you, join in. Dean, I can't believe it's taken 50 minutes for somebody to go, ditch the blue. Took 50 minutes, though. Sam Eats Humble Pie, second YouTube channel. It's a weird flex. Happy to eat humble pie. As I said, like, you're perfectly allowed to, I don't want to use the word entitled, but you're allowed to criticize players with what you see. Don't go personal. Don't speak about what they're doing in outside of the game, but I'm speaking about what I'm seeing on the pitch as a professional and what I expect of my Manchester United players. And Maguire got more scorn from me last season than the average player because he was a captain. And I just saw our club just faltering and failing. And unfortunately, he was our captain. Not unfortunately, he was our captain, so he's going to get more criticism from me. But Anthony, fair play to him. Now, I want to ask you here about Hojlund, because for me, and maybe I'm in a minority here, I'm genuinely not worried about Hojlund, right? Hojlund gets himself into the right position, like, constantly. He's always in the right position at the right time. It's just that it's kind of rarely that the ball actually gets to him. The goal for McTominay, it kind of looked like Hojlund was going for it, but heard a shout from McTominay and just kind of did that. Duck down, we scored the second goal. Pat, you're saying he just needs a goal? I think he does need a goal. Of course he does. It was a really nice little like sharp run and snapshot that he had early in the game. I'm personally not worried. I know there's going to be people like, oh, it's December, he's not scored. These will be rival fans that want him to fail. If Hojlund, like, what would you prefer then? If Hojlund was sort of out of the game for like 70 minutes yesterday, wrong positions, all over the shop, but then randomly popped up with a header from a corner, would that have made it a better performance from him? No, it wouldn't have. It definitely wouldn't have. Like, as a team, with the focal point, he was making the runs. He didn't get frustrated. And it is a case of when and not if with Hojlund. That's what I see. I'm not saying he's in no way, shape, or form the full and complete striker yet. But I'm not worried about it just yet. And the fact that he was banging the goals in, man, someone take me back and replay that goal he scored against Galatasaray, that second one. Got the ball in the halfway line and just went, then dinked it over the keeper. Oh, yeah, that was a good goal. But yeah, I'm not personally too worried about it. Tell you what, Rasmus, if you want to wait until getting your first goal and it's away at Anfield, that's fine by me, because I'll be happy to be there celebrating that with you. If you just want to do that in front of the United fans, around about the 88th minute, I'm not too fussy. 88th minute for the winner. That's fine. That's fine. Was Diego Forlan's first goal? I don't know whether his first goal was away at Anfield, but of course, that's where was it 2 against Jerzy Dudek, and then that's where Forlan sort of came straight in as a cult figure. I'm not worried about it, man. Let me see what you're saying. I can see that some of you are concerned about it, but it seems like the majority of you down there sort of kind of in the same mindset as me. Hojlund will come good, says KD. He's dragging defenders, opening space for others. And I think that's kind of what Anthony was making the right runs yesterday, stretching the defense where possible. And I think overall, as a team, we were a stronger setup because Anthony was in there, because Hojlund was in there. I think the team looked good shape-wise because of both of them. Not just because of both of them, but everyone together. Yeah, it took 4 hands, 27 games to get his first goal. It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. I don't think his first, was it his first one away? I don't think it was. Hojlund hat-trick at Anfield. Mate, I swear to God. Have we ever had a hat-trick at Anfield? I know Berbatov got a hat-trick against Liverpool, Old Trafford. Have we ever had a hat-trick at Anfield? Feels like a pub quiz question. I should know that if we do. Trying to remember. I don't think we have. Or if we have, I don't know it. There's our man MC Wardy. Hype. You just gifted 5 memberships as well. Ledge, dude. Thank you very much. Honestly, this community is the one that was a bad one. On the 1st of December, Forlan scored his first brace for United with goals in the 64th and the 67th minute at Anfield. His first brace. Not bad place to get your first brace. Forlan's first goal was Maccabi Haifa in 2002. Gee. Yeah, good luck getting that in a pub quiz question. If you get that right in a pub quiz, you're cheating. You're cheating. Alex, you're saying 20 gifted memberships on the first live stream if Hojlund scores a hat-trick. Sod that. You're getting... Should I do it? Sorry. I'm going to give 50 memberships, right? If Hojlund gets a hat-trick against Anfield, I'm coming back popping all sorts of champagne. It'll be expensive, but it'll be worth it. It'll be definitely worth it. But look, the reason I've got Erik Ten Hag up here to sort of wrap up the show is Ratcliffe too. David Ornstein said that the announcement should be next week. Okay. And everyone's saying the announcement should be next week. All the delays, it feels like all the delays are done and dusted. Famous last words from Sam here on United People's TV. I know. But it should be next week. This Ten Hag is the right coach. I'm not. You can't be certain of anything in life, right? You can be confident, but you can't be certain. I'm confident that Ten Hag is the right coach. And I really want him to get into a position at this football club where the support structure exists to benefit him. And let's hope that this announcement from Ratcliffe comes and that we can see Paul Mitchell or whoever it is coming in as sporting director, Jean-Claude Blanc coming in as the CEO, and we can start moving forward. Because this was a week where so many questions were asked about Ten Hag as manager. And the players responded with genuine fight. And it was probably was that the best performance this season? Certainly one of the most convincing. 28 shots I think we had. Should have scored, easily should have scored 4. Probably should have scored 5. And instead it was squeaky bum time with Chelsea hitting the post in like the 89th minute. Or whenever it was. Shouldn't have been as difficult as that. Should have made it easier. But we got the 3 points. That's the big thing. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments, right? Last couple of minutes, you know what to do. You can ask anything you want. If you can, please drop a like on the video. I would encourage you also to join the Discord. As I said, this isn't me sort of like plugging a sponsor or anything. This is the community home, right? Please come and join in. Feels good. But just keep it up against Bournemouth, lads. Keep it up against Bournemouth. Like, don't be dicks. Don't be dicks. What was did Bournemouth play last night? Oh, yeah, I think they won 2-0 away at Palace, if I'm correct. Let me look. Wednesday, 2-0 against Palace. Might go and watch the highlights from that. See how they played. Is there a video showing how to join Discord, says Dean? Yes, Dean. If you go into the community tab on YouTube and you look in there, scroll down there, there'll be a video from me explaining what Discord is, what all the areas are. But all you got to do is click the link, install the app. It would let you join the server and you'll be introduced. Go into the general chat, say hello. Just say, come on. And then, not come, say, come on then. You go in there, you say hello, and you'll be welcomed to the place by the mods and they'll help you find your way around. All right. Felt good last night. Did feel good. It was a proper fighting response from the manager with the press conference and the journalists. And it was a fighting response for the players. Now we move one game at a time. Bournemouth, you're next. Bayern, well, we've already screwed it up for ourselves. So kind of a dead rubber. But if we win, I mean, we've probably got around about 10% chance. Sod that. We need to win all 3 games in the build up to Liverpool. That's what we've got to be thinking about. Big up to all of you. Love this community. It's got McTominay. I never doubted him once. Never ever said a bad word against him. Neither Maguire. But look, happy to be proven wrong by players. Still don't really think I want to see McTominay in midfield too, but playing McTominay near the edge of the box right now, he's one of the world's best. Take it easy.